Hello, everybody. My name is Adam Bergman. I hope you're doing good. In today's video, I want to talk about cryptocurrency as a whole, but specifically hone into Bitcoin. But whatever's good for Bitcoin is good for the entire altcoin market. So if you don't own Bitcoin, don't feel bad. What's good for Bitcoin is good for your bottom line. Why is Bitcoin all of a sudden going from 26,000 and change, and a week later, Bitcoin is currently, as of this video, sitting at $31,400, and everybody is literally excited, going crazy, thinking we are about to go to the moon. Where is my Lambo, Lambo, Lambo? Me including. I am extremely happy and excited for cryptocurrency right now. The answer is quite simple: a Bitcoin spot ETF. If you are unfamiliar with what a ETF is, it is an exchange traded fund. When you have an ETF, you can have a futures ETF or you can have a spot ETF. We already have a Bitcoin futures ETF, which I won't talk about. And now we're going to have, or hopefully have, a Bitcoin spot ETF. A Bitcoin spot ETF is quite simple. That means you have to actually own the spot asset, in this case, Bitcoin. And that means that whatever money you're putting into your ETF, you have to actually physically buy Bitcoin, which is going to increase the liquidity, increase the amount of money that's flooding the market, and the supply of Bitcoin stays the same or becomes depleted as people are selling. Remember, there's a finite amount of Bitcoin that will ever be produced. We know the amount of Bitcoin that will be produced every single year. That finite amount and that production amount per year is going to get reduced in the Bitcoin halving in April or May of 2024. And this seems like it's about to be a perfect match of opportunity, luck, and timing. And I am extremely excited. Who are the players in the Bitcoin ETF? Well, there's currently 9 players in the spot Bitcoin ETF. The main player is a company called BlackRock that has a record of 575 approvals, 1 disapproval. That 1 disapproval in the future became an approval as well. The thing is, they are the largest asset managers in the world, and they have $9 trillion under management. Besides for them, there's also Fidelity that has around $3 trillion under management, and they are the 3rd largest asset manager in the world. Of course, you have 2 other huge players, GBTC, which is a grayscale Bitcoin investment trust that just had a monumental ruling against the SEC, which I'll go into in just a moment. And of course you have Cathie Wood of ARK Invest. A lot of you guys might have heard her name, especially if you invest in equities or stocks. The next approval or denial final notice is going to be in the beginning of January 2024, and that is going to be ARK Invest's ETF. It is presumed or assumed that all ETFs will be approved at the same exact time. BlackRock's ETF, there was a rumor a week ago when Bitcoin's price was high 26,000 that BlackRock's ETF was approved. BlackRock came out and said this is false, but in around 1 hour of this rumor, Bitcoin flew from high 26,000s to low 29,000s. This is proof and confirmation to anybody that's saying that a Bitcoin spot ETF is not going to do anything for the price of cryptocurrency or Bitcoin. This is false. In a matter of an hour, the price of Bitcoin shot up 8%. All these asset managers together have $15 trillion under management. If they put in just 1%, which is the recommended allocation of your portfolio for a risky asset like Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, that's $150 billion. The current market cap of cryptocurrency for Bitcoin is $600 billion. If they put in 150 billion, that's 25%. That 25%, it's going to flood the market, and the price of Bitcoin is not going to go up, in my opinion, 25%. It won't go from, let's say, 30,000 to 40,000. The price of Bitcoin is going to fly double overnight, and I believe that we're going to get a new all-time high as soon as we have a confirmation that the Bitcoin spot ETF is going to be approved without actually buying the underlying asset. Earlier today, BlackRock's spot Bitcoin ETF's name came out, and it's literally going to be called IBTC. You see, BlackRock's ETFs are all called iShares. That's like their thing. So on IBTC, which is iShares BTC Bitcoin spot ETF, just makes sense. Now we have a little pesky problem or pesky pest called Gary Gensler, who's the chair of the SEC. He's the SEC commissioner. However, most people don't know this. There's actually 5 SEC commissioners. And of the 5 SEC commissioners, Gary Gensler is just 1 vote. Each commissioner has a vote. There's one SEC commissioner that seems to be friendlier to Bitcoin, so to speak, and her name is Hester Peirce. Now, Hester Peirce just came on TV. She did an interview, I believe, with CNBC. I'm going to play you the clip really fast. It's about an 8-minute video, but I'm only going to play you about 1.5 minutes where she speaks about a Bitcoin spot ETF. And, you know, it's kind of bullish if you listen to the way she's saying this. Now, I'm not just making this up. It really does sound bullish. So let me play you this clip, and then I'll go in a little deeper about what's happening with cryptocurrency and where I think this can take Bitcoin, not to mention what I think is going to happen to altcoins.
Next guest, outspoken critic of some of her own agency's initiatives, to join us to talk about crypto regulation, debates over ESG, and so much more. SEC Commissioner Hester Peirce. She is one of 2 Republicans among the 5 SEC commissioners. Good morning to you. Love to get your sense of where you think the state of some of these regulations around crypto really stand right now. There's been so much speculation, even in the past several weeks, about where a Bitcoin ETF might land. There was a moment, as you, I'm sure, recall, where a report came out erroneously, apparently, that one would be approved. That would be the BlackRock one. But a view that, given some of the things that have happened in court recently with the SEC losing, that maybe the SEC is now more open to approving one of these types of funds. Is it?
Well, good morning, Andrew. And I can't say whether or not the commission is ready to approve a Bitcoin exchange traded product. I've been thinking we should approve one for the last 5 years. So that the logic for why we haven't has always mystified me. The court case obviously is an important factor in the landscape, but I can't guess as to my colleagues' approach to this topic.
But the reason I ask is there's a sort of a speculative fever taking place throughout Wall Street and other parts of the crypto world that believe that given those court results or those losses, if you will, or specifically that one loss, that it would change the thinking of the other commissioners at the SEC. You spend time with them, you talk to them. Do you see any shift in terms of that type of thinking, just even generally speaking?
I really can't speak to what we're going to do on the Bitcoin exchange traded products. I can say that generally the agency has not been very good when it comes to anything related to Bitcoin or other crypto assets. And look, I hope that every day I hope that they'll wake up and they'll think, you know what, we need to take a more productive approach. That hasn't happened yet, but I'm of course hoping that it will.
But
I think it's safe to say that we have an ally in cryptocurrency with this SEC commissioner, Hester. Now, she says that she wanted to approve this 5 years ago, so I'm assuming that that's 1 yes vote. We need 3 yeses. If we can get 3 yeses, we will get an approval. So we're already 33% there for an approval. I'm assuming that her vote is yes. Now, the case that they're talking about is GBTC's case. So GBTC is Grayscale Investment Trust. They kind of work like an ETF, but not exactly, but they do hold the underlying asset of Bitcoin. They won a court ruling. So the SEC, Gary Gensler, they threw out their spot Bitcoin ETF application, and the judges, it was 3 judges that basically said, listen, you're giving an arbitrary reason. You need to give a specific reason. They're just saying that it's not safe. And the judges said, well, if there's a spot Bitcoin, a futures Bitcoin ETF, which is more dangerous than a spot Bitcoin ETF, why not approve the spot Bitcoin ETF? The SEC was supposed to appeal. They threw away their appeal and said, we won't appeal. And right now, today was the last day. So officially, that GBTC needs to be re-reviewed. That doesn't mean the SEC has to approve it, but it has to be re-reviewed. Because of everything that I'm saying right now, everyone is assuming, including myself, that we have a very good chance that this Bitcoin ETF is going to get approved. And the fact that BlackRock already has the name of their spot Bitcoin ETF is also a good sign. What I want to explain to you what's currently happening with the Bitcoin market and the altcoin market. So right now, the dominance of Bitcoin is at 53%. The dominance of Bitcoin in around 2019 was right around that 60 something percent. What does that mean? That means the amount that Bitcoin holds of the entire crypto market. Bitcoin was all the way down to like 38% and it's making a comeback. The reason why is Bitcoin is the flight to safety within cryptocurrency, if that makes sense. That's where all the big money is going to. However, Kathy Wood already applied for a spot Ethereum ETF, and I do believe that in the future there's going to be spot ETFs for other cryptocurrencies, specifically the big ones. Probably you're going to have a Cardano. Hopefully you're going to have an Algorand, and that's interchangeable with any other crypto you want. Solana. It doesn't make a difference. All of them, as long as there's something to be traded, these ETFs will come. You just need to pave the way, and the paving the way is going to be with a spot Bitcoin ETF. Guys, the last Bitcoin bull run, Bitcoin hit 69,000. I do believe that we're going to double it this time. I think we're going to hit around 120 to 150,000 per Bitcoin. You can agree, you could disagree, but please let me know down below what you guys think. This does not take into account the Bitcoin halving that's going to make Bitcoin even more scarce at the same time with people flooding the Bitcoin market with liquidity, with a lot of money coming in. All of this put together can make for a very perfect situation. Now, I'm not stating Bitcoin can hit 200, 300, 400, 500, $1 million. I'm just saying that there's going to be an extremely interesting situation where Bitcoin can go up really, really fast. For the record, I am saying Bitcoin is going to hit low six figures, 120 to 150. I hope I'm wrong to the upside and Bitcoin does hit 200, 300, 400,000, whatever. For anybody that's on the sidelines of cryptocurrency, I would suggest, but not advise, do your own due diligence. And Bitcoin is probably a good fit for anybody that wants to get into crypto. I don't think you're going to get a 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 bagger anymore. But I do think that you will get a multi-bagger. And the risks of losing your money is significantly diminished with Bitcoin because that's where all the big money is going to. By big money, I mean Wall Street, all the big funds. Bitcoin first, Ethereum second, everything else third, put together. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys watching. And if you guys are haters on Bitcoin or crypto, that's okay. Just do your own due diligence. Make up your own mind. The opportunities are there. You just have to understand where to look for them. Have a great day.